Welcome to Launceston Airport, here in northern Tasmania. Directly behind me is the Flonzer plane that brought me here from the Gold Coast, but unfortunately I have to head back home to Sydney, and I will be doing that with Virgin Australia on board one of their 737-800s. After watching my outbound Flonzer aircraft departing back to the Gold Coast, I quickly made my way back to the terminal, as the weather here in Launceston was fairly cold and rather windy. Despite being the middle of summer, the maximum temperature at Launceston reaches up to 25 degrees centigrade, and today was approximately 20 degrees, with a wind chill of 13 due to the southerly that was blowing from, well, the south. Located in Western Junction, Tasmania, Launceston Airport, or Launceston Airport, is a regional airport serving as the major gateway to northern Tasmania. There are numerous numbers of destinations you can fly to from here, including the major cities on the mainland. However, interestingly, there is no airline that connects this airport to the capital of the state, Hobart. It's quite interesting, as I thought the local airline Sharp Airlines did so. I guess not. Having arrived here earlier this afternoon with Bonza, I returned to the terminal and proceeded inside to the check-in area. The check-in area here at Launceston seems to have changed every single time I visit, and now there is a lot more open space and no kiosks available anymore. Check-in for Virgin Australia is the largest among the other airlines and is located on the left-hand side of the building with a dedicated priority lane. Once I had checked in, I turned to the right and made my way towards security, which, again, has changed location since the last time I was here, and is a lot more like Newcastle or Cairns Airport now. Having been cleared through security, I proceeded through to the departures hall, which has 2 cafes and a very large store featuring Tasmanian products. Eventually, my inbound aircraft arrived in from Melbourne, which today is a Boeing 737-800, registered as Victor Hotel, Yankee Whiskey Echo. She was built at the Boeing Field Airport in Seattle, Washington, and was one of the many 737s being delivered in the summer of 2018, making this aircraft 6 years old. Funnily enough, this is not my first time flying on this particular aircraft. In fact, it was my 4th time. Within 15 minutes of the aircraft arriving, the pre-boarding call was made down at the gate, to which I made my way down there. Launceston Airport is a very European-style airport, aiming to keep passengers upstairs where they spend their money rather than down at the gate, which has basically nothing there other than seating and a small cafe. Boarding today commenced a little late at Gate 3 due to the late arrival of the previous flight. I've stated this in the past, but getting to walk across the apron never gets old. Virgin Australia's 737-800s are technically in a 3-class configuration with 8 business class seats in a 2-2 layout, 30 economy X seats in a 3-3 layout, with rows 13 and 14 being emergency exit rows, and 138 standard economy class seats, also in a 3-3 layout. This afternoon I shall be seated in 7 Alpha. The economy class seat has 30 inches of pitch and 17 inches of width. There is a standard tray table that folds down and extends with a cup holder in the right corner. In the seat pocket you'll find a safety card, buy on board menu, Wi-Fi card and air sickness bags. Above are individual reading lights, air vents and a flight attendant call button. Soon, the mobile air stairs were detached and the engines fired up for our flight north, 21 minutes behind schedule.
Cabin crew, arm doors across check.
Welcome aboard. It's wonderful to have you with us. At Virgin Australia, you're held a click, then pull the strap to tighten. To release, just lift the buckle. When the seatbelt sign is on, you'll belt that will help guide you to the exits. And if we need to evacuate, leave everything on board. Bringing your bags will slow you down and could damage the escape slides. To find out the
We taxied to runway 14 right via Alpha, Delta and runway 32 left.
In your seat pocket.
Cabin crew, be ready for takeoff.
Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff. Once airborne, we spun around over Evandale and the farms, setting a northerly course towards Sydney. Flight time today is 1 hour and 27 minutes, covering a distance of 711 miles or 1,144 kilometres, cruising at 38,000 feet. During our initial climb over northern Tasmania, we flew directly over Anderson Bay and the clouds parted, enabling me to see the nearby Noland Bay. Soon the crew came around serving food. I asked for a can of sour cream and onion Pringles, which was fairly inexpensive, but compared to ground prices, it is quite pricey. As we crossed Bass Strait, there were a few islands that we spotted halfway between, such as Deal Island and Craigie Island. As we reached the mainland again, we flew directly over the Ewing Morass Wildlife Reserve, which the Victorian state government has given approval for all hunting of wild boars and deers due to their destructive behaviour of the native wildlife. Later, we flew over Lake Jindabyne, which I have kayaked over in the past, and is a quite nice place to hang out. On board Virgin 737s are 3 bathrooms, 2 for economy and 1 for business. Inside is everything you'd typically expect to find for economy, including the Virgin branded hand soap. Due to traffic congestion at Sydney Airport, we had to make a few course corrections over the Canberra region, including passing over Yass. Soon we commenced our descent into Sydney. Descending through the airspace surrounding Sydney on a picturesque day like today, sitting on the left-hand side is a priority for me, as the arrival into Sydney always provides the best views of the city, Botany Bay, the CBD or the suburbs on landing. If you've ever flown into Sydney and landed on runways 16 left or right, from the south, most flights follow this S pattern over the southern suburbs and National Park, before aligning with the runway over the Kurnell Peninsula. Honestly, other than the approach into Brisbane, this approach is one of my favourites. Now please enjoy this unedited landing. after landing we taxied back to the terminal via Bravo 4. We pulled into gate 35 30 minutes behind schedule. Stepping off the aircraft and leaving behind Yankee Whiskey Echo, I made my way to the terminal exit. Due to my disorientation upon entering the building, I ended up making a wrong turn and ended up going all the way back to the other end of the concourse, but I eventually realized my mistake and turned back around and started making my way to the correct exit. Virgin Australia's economy class. Well, it certain isn't something I'm jumping for joy about, but it certainly isn't a bad product either. For a 90-minute flight, the seats are quite comfy, with fairly decent leather padding and generally alright legroom. My only criticism about today's flight is the price. Today's flight cost me a whopping $140 for a light fare, which for some bizarre reason was the only thing available other than a flex fare when I booked, and I honestly wasn't super keen on paying for this. However, it could have been worse. I personally think that Jetstar is seriously shaking up the game with its $49 fares to Launceston. However, the main reason I didn't pick Jetstar is because of the times, and they did not really suit my needs. So I was forced to choose Virgin. But again, it could have been worse. Something new Virgin Australia has introduced to its airline is bag tracking, which not on today's flight, but I attempted to use and works fairly decently, giving me updates whenever my bag is moved from the aircraft to the carousel or from the check-in desk to the aircraft. It's something quite unique, and I'm keen to review it properly in the future. Hopefully next time I get to do it on the elusive 737-700. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe. Make sure to check out my other videos that I have on my YouTube channel. And also, I now have a Discord server. Feel free to join, link at the top of the description. And don't forget to ring that notification bell if you enjoy my content. And if you want to see more, I post my videos every Friday at 8 PM Sydney time. And I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!